There's a lot planned to make Aloft the next great survival game. Hi friends, and welcome back to Aloft. This Castle in the Sky style video game is currently in the early stages of development, with only a demo available for download, but the devs are hard at work building Aloft into the next top-of-the-line survival game. They generously sent me the next demo version early, so we're going to cover everything you can find in this build, along with what we can expect to see in the future. If you enjoyed this video or want to learn more about Aloft, feel free to like this video and subscribe for more. It'd be much appreciated. But without further ado, here's everything we know about Aloft. The current explorable areas of Aloft are lush and green, with plenty of soaring trees and flowers dotting the floating islands that we're lucky enough to call home. But this evergreen style is far from the maximum we can expect to see as we explore the skies further into the future. You start the game in the Emerald Isles biome, characterized by verdant green grass, temperate trees like birch, oaks, and pines, with an abundance of light gray stones. This is more or less our forest biome equivalent, with the clear waterfalls hidden between the trees, but in the future we can expect to see so much more. There are at least 8 different concept art slides for various biome types, ranging from a mesa-like red cliffs biome to the ethereal rose towers. While some of these biomes are likely meant to mimic real-world ecosystems like the Emerald Isles, some of them are definitely based more in fantasy, which conveys other emotions that could lead us to different elements of story design. So biomes like the Alpine Peaks feel more neutral and friendly, while others like the Black Plains give off more sinister vibes. There are even more biomes with concept art available than the ones I've briefly mentioned here, but I'm probably most excited for the wetlands to be released. Surely that has nothing to do with my real-life job as a marine biologist, but something with this level of interconnectedness between the islands is going to be really cool to see. Plus, I just love water in general. Also, we definitely need to appreciate how beautiful and detailed all of the concept art is for this game, because it's incredible and conveys some awesome vibes that make me even more excited for the future. The devs have also hinted that certain biomes may be more dense with different resources, making certain materials like bones easier to find in a certain biome, or trees in another. This would certainly help encourage exploration, as well as potentially a meaning to going back to previous islands to gather whatever you need to progress further through the world. While the story for Aloft is far from set in stone, and the lore isn't established yet, there are certain clues to what we can expect from the game's story arc. All of the advanced blueprints needed to craft things beyond your basic toolset are unlocked via these knowledge stones with their flags blowing in the wind. These stones were supposedly left behind by previous adventurers many years before you came along, and each time you unlock a new blueprint, you're also greeted with a new bit of wisdom to help guide you in your journey into the hurricane that these lovely lush islands are centered around. While the actual story is far from being implemented, dreams may play a substantial role in establishing your goal. This foggy screen that appears as you go to sleep for the night will presumably be used to convey some information surrounding that mysterious story to help you move forward. But moving back in time, it's possible that the adventurers who left behind the knowledge stones that you're using now may have looked a little something like the character customization options that are coming to the game. There are a range of body styles, hairstyles, skin colors, and outfits planned for individuals to choose from to create their own unique adventure. There are even plenty of facial hair options and eye colors planned to make everyone's character unique. Different pieces of concept art show a wide range of customization options, from tattoos to scars and everything in between. In the current demo, a default character I can best describe as a monk is the playable character, but I imagine in future versions we'll be able to see more inhabitants of this strange world come to life. As you continue to explore various islands and reach new heights, you'll likely encounter a different kind of harvestable resource in your journeys. Different crop types can be found scattered along the edges of certain islands, and if you're lucky, some will drop seeds that you can bring home to your island and grow yourself. There are a range of crop plots that you can place around your world that allow you to plant and grow those seeds, which can provide a sustainable food source for not only you, but perhaps some small friends will find along the way. Although most of the current life floating through the sky is plant-based, there are plans in the works for some furry, fluffy, and feathered friends we might be able to find scattered throughout the world. These come in a few variants, namely the alpaca, the sheep, the pheasant, and the goat. I have no input on what kinds of resources these creatures may be useful for, but I absolutely adore the aesthetic the devs are building here, and I cannot wait to have some of these guys come with me on my adventures. Even better than the varieties of supposedly agriculturally friendly animals, there are plans for some companion animals to be your friends in the sky. One appears to be a small owl that can perch on your arm, or fly next to your glider. One is something that strongly resembles Momo from Avatar: The Last Airbender that can also fly with you or hitch a ride on your back. Finally, there's a small turtle-type guy who can ride in your pouch. This may or may not be a reason that I'm excited for the wetlands biome, which is where I suspect I'll be able to find this turtle-shaped friend. These creatures will add some much-needed fauna to accompany the gorgeous flora already introduced in the game, and will make it so much more meaningful to build a lovely home to give to our future companions. As you continue to explore various islands and reach new heights, you'll likely encounter a different kind of harvestable resource in your journeys. Different crop types can be found scattered along the edges of certain islands, and if you're lucky, some will drop seeds that you can bring home to your island and grow yourself. There are even plenty of facial hair options planned for individuals to choose from to create their own unique adventure. While the story for Aloft is far from set in stone, and the lore isn't established yet, there are certain clues to what we can expect from the game's story arc. All of the advanced blueprints needed to craft things beyond your basic toolset are unlocked via these knowledge stones with their flags blowing in the wind. These stones were supposedly left behind by previous adventurers many years before you came along, Of course, the best part of any survival game is the base building, and Aloft does not disappoint. The build system works in two distinct ways. There's a free build mode that lets you place any build piece anywhere, or there's a lock-on system for people who would like to perfectly center and align various pieces. This is a great dynamic approach that leads to ultra-customizable builds. There are a range of tile sizes that all have the capacity to snap together to create a variety of shapes, which is way more customizable than a hard gridlock system. I also appreciate the curve shapes that are native to the game, so you're not just limited to hard rectangles and sharp angles. As for design styles, there are currently just two kinds of materials available in the game. There's the dark wood styles and the lighter stone style. Both of these stem from the style of the Emerald Isles biome type from the start of the game, and I imagine that with different biomes, we'll unlock different building resources and styles to choose from, which would make for even more build customization options. Between the options already in the game and a few other features introduced in this update though, possibilities are already expanding. The current demo version brought with it a system of beams and planks, which stretch and mold to the limits of your imagination. If you're familiar with the detail plank in Raft, this plank is more or less the same, and the beam is just a round version. It allows you to place a log or a plank in any direction at any angle, which means that all things are possible. It's also easier to control than the Raft plank in my opinion, and I can't wait to see what crazy builds people come up with using these. It's also worth noting that Aloft already has options for building various machines and other workstations to help automating both the gathering and processing of various resources, which makes base building infinitely more satisfying. And of course, we can't forget that you can turn both smaller islands into much more than just a home by adding a rudder, helm, and some sails. With those powers combined, your island becomes a mobile airship to accompany you on all of your airborne adventures. To gather any of the resources you'll need to build these lovely homes, though, you'll need tools of some kind. Early in the game, you'll have access to stone tools, which, while effective, take a decent amount of time to use and deal pretty minimal damage. Each tool in a set has a specific use. The hammer lets you build your structures, the pickaxe removes boulders and stones, the door kip removes grass and helps you farm, the sickle removes bushes and excess flora, and the axe cuts down trees and can also be used as a weapon. There's also, of course, a sword for all of your combat needs. As you explore further into the Out Islands, you'll unlock bones gathered from the ground, which can then be crafted into more advanced bone tool sets that are more effective and deal more damage, and there's even another planned tier in development. The glass tool set seems to be the mid to late game ideal tool set, and I imagine it will be more effective than either these stone or bone tools. These spindly, vibrant glass tools are probably my favorite from an aesthetic perspective, and I can't wait to see how they're unlocked and implemented. There are also a few other new kinds of equipment we can expect to see at some point in the future. First is a set of bows and arrows tied to the same stone, bone, and glass tiers, which will make ranged combat possible. I personally hope that you can shoot the bow while gliding through the sky, simply because I think that would be fun. Speaking of gliding, there are also a few variants of gliders in the concept art. We've got our leaf glider, that's what we currently use to navigate islands. There are a few other material types, one of which seems to match with the linen material used in some of the sails, and frankly I have no clue what the other two variants may be. By my guess, upgraded gliders will consume less stamina, provide greater boosts, or some other mechanic other than aesthetics to make them worth the presumably higher material cost. Some of the outfits we talked about earlier may also come in different armor formats, so that's another feature to keep your eye out for. All of these tools, gliders, and equipment in general will make the survival aspects of the game more fun to progress through and improve your kit. Aloft is designed to be a survival and exploration game, so it makes sense that we'd see more elements of your typical survival game, such as a health bar, different status effects, and a hunger system. Again, it bears repeating that everything you're seeing right now is from a pre-alpha version of the game, so anything and everything I'm about to show you and talk about could definitely be changed in the future. On that note, if you have any ideas or suggestions you'd like to tell the devs about, I highly recommend joining the Aloft Discord. The devs are incredibly kind and answer tons of questions every day, so there's a good chance your suggestions will be heard and considered. Anyways, back to the survival front. The food and hunger system revolves around cooking the various resources you get from your farms and exploration into a range of dishes. Right now, these dishes are more or less a choose-your-own-adventure style where you can slap any combination together and hope it comes out in one of the select categories that provides buffs to your health or stamina. As far as I can tell, these categories are loosely created based on what kinds of ingredients you put in, So if you put in 3 of one veggie, you'll get a bowl of mixed veggies, or a fruit salad when you combine blueberries and watermelons. There are a few exceptions, like the pumpkin and blueberry pies that have specific ingredients, and honestly, I don't know how many combinations there are. In addition to food, you can recover your stats by taking a quick nap on the ground, or, if you're feeling fancy, even in a lovely leaf bed. If you claim an island as your home, you can also get additional status bonuses that reduce stamina consumption, which will make combat significantly easier. Combat itself is pretty simple at the current moment. With only the sword and axe as viable weapons, you can either spam attacks like you're playing Minecraft 1.8, or you can try and build up a combo attack like Skyrim. Right now there's only one kind of enemy in the game, which is the guard-style mushroom foe. There are at least 4 kinds of enemies in the works with various attack styles. Where the guard is more brawly and up close, according to this post from one of the devs, the coward will throw things at you. There are 2 other mushroom types in the works beyond the guard and the coward. One is the devourer, which is, quote, chunky, tanky, spore-shooting, corpse-eating fungi monsters. No clue what that means, but I'm sure it'll be fun to take on. And finally, there's the shrieker that looks like a morel, but no information on this monster has been released yet. All of these enemies come in 3 varieties: basic, veteran, and elite. Presumably, these are just more advanced versions of a given monster that deal more damage, which is at least the way that things seem to work with the guard mushroom that's currently in the demo. Maybe we'll see more advanced attack moves or different behaviors, but who's to say? We're too early in the development process to make any of those final calls on these topics. But with all that said, this is the summarized version of everything we know about Aloft so far. I have thoroughly enjoyed playing through the demo, and I'd highly recommend that you check it out for yourself on Steam. If everything continues going as planned, Aloft could easily be the next big survival game. Anyways, I think that's it for me for now. Thank you again to the Astrolabe devs for letting me see the game early, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please consider leaving a like if you did, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. It really helps me out. I hope to see you all again soon, but until then, have a great day.